Welcome to Alpha Coding Podcast, an all-access pass to medical coding and billing pro tips that help you start your week off smarter. And now, here is your host, Toni Elhoms.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Alpha Coding Podcast series. I'm your host, Toni Elhoms. Welcome to episode 40 of the podcast. Today is October 5th, and welcome to a brand new month, and cheers to 40 episodes. I'm telling you, these 40 episodes represent a promise that I've kept to myself and also to the listeners. So I want to say thank you to all of the supporters and listeners of the podcast, and that you continue to show up week after week on Alpha Monday. So today is going to focus on something I get a lot of questions about, and that is manifestation and the power that you have in being able to create your own future. And I'm going to give you some great techniques and strategies that are going to help you manifest the future that you dream about. So before we dive into our topic, it's time for your Monday dose of positivity, the Mindset Monday tip, which is brought to you by Contempo Coding, which is an on-demand educational resource provider created for coders by coders. They specialize in affordable coding certification prep courses to help you accelerate in your career. Right now, they're offering an exclusive special to Alpha Coding Podcast listeners, and that's $125 off the Certified Risk Adjustment Coding Prep course, as well as some great bonus content when you order through our affiliate website. Visit our website, alphacodingexperts.com, and head over to the Deals and Discounts tab for a link to take advantage of this absolute steal of a deal. So our Mindset Monday tip is all about recognizing the value and not focusing on the price. So the quote I want to share with you says, "Too many people today know the price of everything and the value of nothing." And I truly believe this quote because I think a lot of us get fixated on the price. How much does it cost instead of focusing on the value of what it's going to bring to our lives? Price is not equivalent to value. Price is something that's arbitrary and value is fundamental. Price is what you pay, value is what you get. So today we're going to cover my top 10 pro tips for manifesting your future. You have the power to create your future, to create a life by design. You just have to believe it and recognize the value of manifestation, and then start to incorporate some of these techniques and strategies that I'm going to share with you today into your life, and you're going to see a game changer. It's going to happen gradually over time. It's not going to be something that just happens overnight, but you'll see these strategies and these rituals come to fruition, and it's incredibly motivating because then you realize your potential is limitless. You're able to tap into almost a superpower that so many of us aren't even aware that we have. So many people don't realize this, but you have the power to manifest anything that you want or desire. You just have to be able to apply these techniques and strategies over time, and you're going to see life-changing things happen. And this brings me to my pro tip number 1. Put your dreams into the universe. When you put something into the universe, you're claiming it, you're asking for it, and you are going to become a magnet for these things. Every single day, I practice a ritual, I meditate, I do daily affirmations, and I say thank you for the things that I have, and I say thank you for the things that I want and desire to manifest into my life. This right here is incredibly powerful. And as I've expanded this ritual, I've seen so many things on this list of thank yous and affirmations that have come to fruition in my life that I've actually manifested. So sit down, make a list of all the things that you have that you're grateful for, and then think about the things that you want and put them out into the universe. Implement this practice into your life, and you're going to see substantial results. It's not something that happens overnight. It's a gradual progression, but it's incredibly valuable. Pro tip number 2, visual reminders are critical to manifestation. So anyone that knows me or has spent any time with me in a professional capacity knows I write things down. I'm a pen to paper type of person, that I have sticky notes, I have whiteboards, I have so many different visual reminders and cues set up in my workspace so that I can constantly be reminded of what I want to do, what I want to achieve, and where I'm headed. So part of that is using vision boards. I have sticky notes all around my office that say different things that I want to attract, different things that I want to achieve, just as reminders so that I can see all the things that kind of run around in my head. I can see them in front of me as a visual reminder of where I'm headed. And I know a lot of successful people that leverage these tools to manifest their future as well. Pro tip number 3, raise your standards. So you get to decide what that glass ceiling looks like for you. Don't let other people, don't let your peers, your family, your friends tell you what your standards should be, because you'll see that a lot of people's standards for themselves are very low. And because you see so many people with these low standards, it makes you feel kind of like the outcast because you have these big dreams, these big aspirations. So don't fall into the trap of letting other people influence your standard and your glass ceiling. You have to set that standard for yourself, and you have the power to raise that standard. If you study successful people, you'll see what changed. Well, they started showing up for themselves, keeping promises to themselves, and they raised their standard. So we live who we believe we are. When we raise our standards, we instinctively level up that belief in ourselves. Pro tip number 4, avoid limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs have the power to manifest like a cancer in your mind. They will destroy your confidence. They will implant all of this self-doubt into your mind, and they will literally cripple your ability to manifest your life and your future. So I try to avoid limiting beliefs at all costs. And you're going to find that when you're around people that have very limiting beliefs, it's contagious. So you have to avoid certain types of people and certain conversations because you get sucked into this limiting belief cycle, and then it just takes over your life and you don't realize it. People around you are going to call you crazy. They're going to think that you have no idea what you're talking about, that your dreams are just way beyond the realm of reality, and that's okay. That's their own limiting beliefs talking to them. And you want to try to keep a pulse on that inner dialogue that you have with yourself, because your subconscious mind will plant all types of negativity into your mindset, and then you won't realize or recognize it until it's too late and it's just gotten out of control. So your mind is going to try to talk you out of things, commitments that you've made to yourself. It's going to try to smack you around. You have to be ready to smack it back. And this is something that over time you can develop, and it's like a muscle. You get better and better over time. Pro tip number 5, get crystal clear about your goals. I'm talking so clear that you can literally taste it. You can see it. You can smell it. You're so clear about what you want to achieve. The only way to do that is to get it out of your head. And you want to take it that next level and break it into micro details. I want to make X amount of money over X amount of time period, or whatever your goal is. And you can look back and say, yep, I achieved that. On to the next one. You have to get so crystal clear about your goals that you understand the macro level view and the micro level view. So you want to get crystal clear about your goals, and then you'll be able to build that roadmap on how exactly you're going to get there. Pro tip number 6, don't get distracted. This is so much easier said than done, especially in the age of distractions. Our phones have a million notifications, our computers, our emails, everything is just constantly going off with these buzzing notifications. And what does that do? It grabs your attention, it sucks the time out of your day, and then you look down and you realize you haven't achieved anything that you wanted to achieve for the day. So this is where you have to take control and not get distracted. So how much screen time did you have this week? That's a real question. Ask yourself, how much time did you spend scrolling on social media? Take that amount of hours, look at the goals you want to achieve, and how much progress you could have made to achieve those goals had you not been mindlessly scrolling on Amazon or Pinterest or social media, whatever it is that you do on your phone. That screen time really adds up. I watched a documentary recently, and it talked about the amount of screen time that people spend on their phones. And it was really interesting because this one example, this person had X amount of screen time hours, which equated to about 4 years of their life, which is substantial if you think about all of that time was just spent with your head down in your phone. It really starts to give you some perspective about what's most important in life. Replace your scroll time with goal time, and then you'll see a substantial difference in your productivity. Pro tip number 7, become obsessed with your own personal growth. So one of the great things about being an entrepreneur is that it is literally my job to grow, to learn, and to invest in myself. And I encourage every single person to do the same. You don't have to be an entrepreneur to become obsessed with learning and your own personal growth. You are the single best investment you could ever make. So why waste your time investing in other people and other pursuits that are not going to be as fruitful in terms of ROI as yourself. So one of the techniques that I am faithful to is personal development. Every single day, I spend at least 15 minutes reading or doing some form of personal development. And over years, this practice has just compounded, and I've seen such significant growth in myself and my ability to manifest my future. And the great thing about tools like YouTube is that you can literally teach yourself anything. You can learn anything on YouTube and the internet. It's not like it used to be where you had to exert a lot more effort to acquire knowledge. I remember back in the day where you had to go to the library to do a research project. So you would have to camp out at the library for like 3 weeks to be able to get all of the information you needed for your research project. Now everything is accessible in 1 second. You can access anything at your fingertips. So why not leverage these tools to learn and grow? Complacency will kill you. If you think that you've learned everything because you went to this fancy college and got this fancy degree that you know you're probably never going to use. How many of us have used algebra or geometry or some of these ridiculous courses that they made us take in college? Learning is a lifelong process, and if you become obsessed with your own learning and growth, you're going to see significant growth. Pro tip number 8, avoid the scarcity mindset. So as I mentioned in the Mindset Monday tip, it's important not to get fixated on price, but on the value, the worth that it brings to you. A lot of us operate from a scarcity mindset. When am I going to get my next meal? When am I going to get my next paycheck? Oh, I don't have enough money. Oh, I can't afford that. That mindset is indicative of a scarcity mindset, and this is going to manifest into other areas of your life. And when you hoard money and knowledge, that manifests into other areas of your life, and it becomes a scarcity thing. You're holding on to something because you're afraid of losing it. That is going to inhibit your growth. You will not see things manifest in abundance because you're operating from a place of scarcity. So you want to avoid that scarcity mindset. Anytime you have that fear of scarcity, you want to shut it down because it will manifest into other areas of your life. You want to have an abundance mindset that there's plenty of money, there's plenty of opportunity, there's plenty of knowledge out there for me to acquire and to share with others. And that's going to help you shift from that scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset. Pro tip number 9, the law of proximity is real. So the Gestalt law of proximity refers to the concept that similar things or similar people will be in groups together. So I try to surround myself with people that have achieved the things that I want to achieve, that have that success-driven mindset, that have literally manifested their lives that were once dreams. They've been able to manifest into their actual lives. And when you get around billionaires and people that have accomplished these huge things that seemed impossible to the average person, that starts to wear off on you, and you start to learn and level up based on their strategies and techniques. So the law of proximity is real. You want to be around people that have done the things that you want to do, that have gone the places that you want to go, because just by being around them, their practices and their strategies and their techniques are going to rub off on you. You're going to learn something. There's an old saying, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Pro tip number 10, success is formulaic. So if you study the most successful people, you'll start to see patterns and trends of behavior. And part of that is recognizing that failure is part of the road to success. You're going to fail many times. You're going to have so many setbacks and times where you're not sure that you're going to make it to the next month, the next day. It's part of the process. And when you recognize that failure is inevitable, it's just part of the pathway to success, it becomes easier to navigate. Another key element of success is giving back to others. So helping other people achieve the success that you have achieved by mentoring, by giving them opportunities, any way that you can give back, understand that it's going to come back to you times 10. It's a law of the universe, the concept of giver's gain. The more I give, the more I gain. And if you study the wealthiest and most successful people in the world, you'll see that they make a conscious effort to always give back in some way. So grab a pen and paper to summarize my top 10 pro tips for manifesting your future. Number 1, put your dreams into the universe. Number 2, visual reminders are critical to manifestation. Number 3, raise your standards. Number 4, avoid limiting beliefs. Number 5, get crystal clear about your goals. Number 6, don't get distracted. Number 7, become obsessed with your own personal growth. Number 8, avoid the scarcity mindset. Number 9, the law of proximity is real. Number 10, success is formulaic. So it's time for this week's coding pro tip, and it's brought to you by Project Resume. When is the last time you had your resume updated? Your resume is literally your entry ticket to that next great opportunity. Project Resume will design a customized ATS-friendly resume to demonstrate your unique skills and experience. And even better, it's written by coders for coders. Make that investment in yourself today and visit projectresume.net and mention my code ALPHACODING for special pricing. If you have a coding-related question and would like to be featured in one of our coding pro tips, please reach out to me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. So this week's coding pro tip comes to us from Michigan. Hi, Toni. Our organization was interested in implementing an RPM program, but a lot of my providers think that the telehealth rules are going to go back to pre-COVID status. What are your thoughts on the future of RPM reimbursement and coding? So this question has come up a lot recently, and this is something that I want to clarify. So RPM, which is remote patient monitoring, is actually not subject to those telehealth rules because it doesn't meet the definition of telehealth. RPM programs are designed to be facilitated asynchronously, which means the communication does not always happen in real time. So it's important to understand that distinction because the RPM codes are not subject to those strict telehealth rules because they don't meet the definition of telehealth. I think we're going to see a lot of RPM program implementation and adoption over the next few years because it fits well into that concept of value-based care and taking care of patients more proactively instead of addressing the problems as they arise. Please remember to hit that subscribe button now so you never miss another episode. Also, be sure to drop us a rating and review on iTunes. We really appreciate your support. So this concludes today's episode. Until next week, thank you for listening to the Alpha Coding Podcast. We'll see you next Monday.
For more information about medical coding and billing pro tips, including how to hire alpha coding experts, follow us on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, or visit our website at www.alphacodingexperts.com.